Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we've got another shoe review on the cards. We're going to be looking at the Hoka Clifton 8s after 100 miles. I'll be breaking down the upper, the midsole and the outsole of this shoe to answer the question whether or not the Hoka Clifton 8 is still the long distance running beast that it once was. So yes, we're going to take a look after 100 miles at the Hoka Clifton 8. This is a shoe that I got relatively recently. I bought with my own money. You can see my first impressions up in the corner, and just to see if my opinion of it has changed over the time. This is the first Hoka shoe that I've ever run in and taken to 100 miles, and it got there really quickly. I've been using it for a combination of easy runs and long runs with one fartlek run in just to see if this thing can pick up the pace. But yeah, mostly medium, long runs, relatively easy paces. So let's start with the upper of this shoe. And as I spoke about in my first video, this is an engineered mesh, as it seems all shoes nowadays are. As far as engineered meshes go, this is not the most breathable mesh out there, but it does have a really nice fit. It's super comfortable, and I think the lockdown over the midfoot area is exceptional. I'm not sure about this humongous heel flare, looks like an elf ear to me, but maybe it's working because I had no blisters, no pains, no sores, anything in that back. And I do think the amount of padding in the heel is very appropriate for this shoe. My only gripe with the upper of this shoe, which I did touch on in my first video, but actually became more of an issue the more I've started to run in it, is the amount of padding that's in this tongue. It just is excessive for the shoe. I like a relatively padded upper in my easy or my long run shoes, but the amount of padding in the tongue makes it slip around a little bit when you're trying to get a good lockdown right at the top of the foot. And it's not unusual for me to have to stop after the first 5 or 10 minutes of my run to move around that tongue a little bit, re-cinch the laces if I need to, just to make sure that my foot isn't sliding around right at the top there. Which is a bit of a bummer because it felt so good right out of the box. However, that isn't an always thing, and I guess it depends how sensitive you are to the amount of padding around the ankle. This is still one of my favourite running shoe uppers, and so it's going to stay at 2.7 out of 3. Just be cautious if you've had problems with the amount of padding on other shoes' tongues. So let's talk about the midsole now, and as you can see there is a huge hunk of EVA foam. This is Hoka's classic foam, however, surprisingly, it seems to be rather different to some of the previous Cliftons. At least from my understanding, this is a significantly more firm foam than some of the previous shoes, which is interesting as Hoka has genuinely been known for those really soft foams, whereas now we see something like the New Balance 1080 taking over that super squishy shoe. However, I don't think this is a bad thing. The firmness increases the responsiveness on this shoe while not adding any extra taxing to my knees or my ankles. It still felt absolutely amazing to go on long runs for. As far as firm midsoles go, it doesn't necessarily have that much pop, that much energy return, but it is consistent and reliable at a range of medium to easy paces. And I think that's pretty much what you want from your long run shoe. You don't need to be bursting out of every single step. You just need something that's going to keep you consistent, keep you rolling, and that's exactly what this shoe did for me. I haven't noticed any change in the midsole at all, although there is a little bit of wrinkling on the outside. I don't think that's a problem, as that tends to happen in pretty much every shoe I run in. Overall, I'm going to give this midsole a 2.6 out of 3, simply because it's lacking either that little bit of extra squishiness or that little bit of extra pop that would really kind of send it over for me. But as far as daily trainers or long run shoes goes, it really isn't something you can go wrong with. On to the outsole now. And in previous Cliftons, people have often complained of really poor outsole degradation. We've got a fair bit of exposed EVA foam in this shoe with a minimal amount of rubber on the front and rear of the shoe. However, after my first 100 miles, I can say I'm pretty much getting absolutely no change in this outsole. The tread pattern still looks pretty much identical, other than a small, tiny little bit of smoothing right in this back corner. But that's something I generally get on all of my easy shoes, simply because when I'm running easy, I'm more likely to slightly heel strike rather than be a midfoot or a forefoot striker. However, that doesn't worry me at all. The traction on this shoe is still absolutely incredible. I have no problem weaving and dashing my way around pedestrians on the canal paths here in East London when I'm on my nice long runs. To me, this outsole screams of a 2.8 out of 3. The only way they can improve it ever so slightly is maybe just remove some of the rubber. I don't know if this last strip of rubber here is necessary. Maybe we just needed what's in the forefoot, I don't know. But if you get rid of that, maybe it would reduce the weight of this shoe, because it's not the most lightweight long run shoe that you can get at the moment. So finally, let's talk about value. This shoe costs £125, which is definitely not cheap for a daily trainer. And I think this shoe really loses out in the value game because it's not an incredibly versatile shoe. You can't take it for anything fast-paced really. And if you found this shoe amazing for fast-paced, let me know in the comments, because I really didn't. So I would say that this is really going to be relegated to your long runs, your easy runs, and maybe some medium fartlek-y kind of runs. So if you're looking for that in-betweener shoe that's gonna do everything at this price point, unfortunately, the Hoka Clifton 8 is not that shoe. But if you are looking to round out your running shoe rotation and you need something for your easy days or your long runs, this might actually be my best recommendation. There's nothing that's been quite as good specifically at those long runs. If you've already got your tempo and your threshold day shoes, you know, you've got a nice daily training that you're going to take for some of your easy runs, but you're looking for a long run shoe, I have to say, this is the best long run shoe I've tested in the last year. That does mean that unfortunately, this is only going to be a 2.3 out of 3 for value. However, like I say, if you're just looking for a shoe that is specifically for long or easy runs, don't let that value put you off, because this definitely could be the shoe for you. And so that's it. Here's the overall score. How did you find the Hoka One Clifton 8? Did you find it good for medium or fast-paced work? Or are you like me, where you think this might be the long run king of 2021? Let me know down in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit like, and I do loads of other shoe reviews, so if you want to see any of those, hit subscribe and go watch the other ones on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.